On the ready.
51 to mine. Come on, baby. Let's see what you got.
First carry for Josh Jacobs. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
Check 50. Check 50. Check. Check hot route.
Here's a 2nd and 7. Eluding the pressure right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. Give him 32 on the play. That was a fantastic job of keeping that play alive. He had a chance to tuck it. I thought he might.
They work on those situations all the time. This is coached, being able to keep your eyes downfield, keep the play alive, and not automatically run with the football. How about that lesson absorbed, and it turned into a big play?
They'll run with Austin. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 14 yards is the pickup there, and a Raider first.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Hey, Haywood!
They go back to the ground, this time Jacobs. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. On the stop that time, it was Josie Jewell.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. On 2nd down, Jacobs. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give your...
And he's taken down, trying to do a little too much, getting outside of the pocket, and it results in a sack. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they need it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left. We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave them with a 3rd and about 3 to go. Jackson looking to throw on 3rd. Flushed out right. Got a man open. It's Sutton. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. On 1st down, Lindsey. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37, gain of 9.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
On 2nd and 1, Jackson. There goes a deep ball, end zone. In for the score. And the Broncos push further out in front. A diving catch for the score. He laid out. That was special.
And you know the first thing they're going to check, right? Did he complete the process of the catch? All the way through, all the way to the ground. Ball doesn't hit the ground without control in his hands. All of that, yes. Check the box, touchdown.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They trail now 14-3, an 11-point deficit as they start things out with a 1st and 10. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a first down as well.
70 Indians. Hey, Zoo.
1st and 10. 47, Mike, 47. Hey, I'm coming. Hey, check Mike 47. Check Mike 47. I'm coming.
On 1st and 10, Huff steps away to his left. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. Everson Griffin busting through to get him for a loss of 6. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
Bravo.
47 to Mike, boy, 47. Check, 47. Squeeze, double. Peek in. Out.
Get it.
2nd and long. And he's going to go down again.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And some room to maneuver. And a great return here gets this one all the way down to the 26-yard line. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. On 2nd down, it's Lindsey. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Phillip Lindsay hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Broncos push further out in front. McManus's point after is good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. This is fielded at the goal line. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. The Oakland offense about ready to start this next drive. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10 as opposed to 21-3. 21-10, a little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3, I think discouragement clouds that locker room.
Yeah, and I think a touchdown much bigger than a field goal on this drive just to get into the end zone and get that momentum. Throwing on 1st down. Huff. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Tedrick Thompson picks it.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
They'll run on 1st down. Lindsey, and that play. Going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. So now they operate back from their side of the field here, 2nd and long. Here's Lindsey. Broke through some contact, but unable to reach the 40. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. And now on 3rd down, they'll need to get it to the 36 to pick up the first. From the gun, it's Jackson. Binds, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. And likely time for one final play here in the half, so they will go for it on 4th down. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Now a quick throw as that's complete on the hitch route. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Here we go.
Operating from the gun. Huff over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to the 30.
Then we got to give a little tip of the cap for the defense there. Zone coverage, locked it in tight, made it really difficult because they tried the crossing route against it, and it worked for a completion, but you have to know where the sticks are on 3rd down. Didn't get beyond them, no pickup.
Here's A.J. Cole now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And good hustle here as this is going to be blown dead right at the 9-yard line.
Absolutely love the flexibility of these punters. Their leg drive, able to get it way up in the air. And that allows their punt team to get down there and down it inside the 10 because they've had some time.
The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back.
Weaving through traffic, and now he's free. And all the way home for a Bronco score. A big play there with touchdown number 3 in the game and 6 on the year. And the Broncos push further out in front. McManus now for the extra point. And they open the lead up now to 25 points.
Makes the score Broncos 28, Raiders 3.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback.
Got it.
The Oakland offense about ready to start this next drive. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, "Wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys."
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
37-yard line.
Ready?
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Check back 47. Get in the weight room. Get in the weight room.
On 2nd down now, it's Jacobs. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
I saw Von Miller in college at Texas A&M, and all I kept hearing about was his speed off the edge to the quarterback. But what impressed me, his balance and his ability to take on.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. Here's A.J. Cole now as he's on to punt for Oakland. And this punt goes out of bounds, and it'll be marked inside the 40. Elsewhere around the NFL, they're in the 3rd quarter in Carson. And the Saints, they've now opened up a 2-touchdown lead. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? I mean, they score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, the fact you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
He's coming. We got double up, double up.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Another run by Lindsey. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they won't put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They've been near perfect, 4 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. They'll go again with Lindsey. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. Give him 3 yards there as that'll take us to 4th down. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out. That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they keep handing it to him.
Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
It's 3rd down and 6.
The Raiders on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6.
Hey, watch the lane. Go.
Back to throw. Huff. He's going to launch this thing way down. And got his man complete. He's at the 40, 20, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. A big play there. 94 yards. And the Raiders get a score closer. A nice throw there by the second-year quarterback.
And I don't believe that was the kind of play he would have made as a rookie, because usually your rookie season is a continuation of your college days. A lot of one read, and if you don't have it, you just take off and go. Now he's settled in the pocket a little bit more, reading the field and getting to a second and sometimes third progression. That was a nice play.
On for the extra point, Giorgio Tavecchio. So that'll back him up 5. On for the extra point, Giorgio Tavecchio. And this is up and good. It cuts the lead to 28-10 now. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Now, the previous drive they punted, but that was just the first time they've had to do so in this game.
And when they turn on the game film, the coaches will rant about this, right? They'll say, oh, God, we got to move the ball, guys. We can't punt the ball away. But they have to keep smiles off their faces because that's the first time in the game they've had to do so. They've moved it quite well. They'll overall be happy with what they've seen.
They're still throwing the football here. Now, obviously, the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
Yeah, I guess you're right. If they can get some first downs, just as good as running the football. Max Crosby. He's the one who runs him down, and my goodness, that is just a disastrous loss for this offense. The Broncos on third down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This will be 3rd and forever. They'll run here with Lindsey. And he'll take this one up to about the 6-yard line. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll bring up a 4th down.
We often talk of situational football. Let's just call it team football. The defense did their job, got off the field, brought up a punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys will get along very well right now? Of course they will. Defense helped the offense. Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
Here's Matt Weil now as the drive. And from their own end zone, it's a fake. And the most curious way there to burn some clock. That was wild. And at the end of all that, it winds up a safety. All right, Charles, help me out here. 4th quarter, you've got the lead, and you run backwards into the end zone. You're just trying to do too much.
I almost don't have words for it. But, you know, every coach that we talk to talks about running backs or people running the football, running north-south, getting upfield. He went way in the opposite direction. And that's going to cost his team.
Yeah, cost him big time. Now a loose football. The ball comes out. Look at this. Middle of the field. A breakaway. And that might just cement it. A return for a late touchdown.
I think it's easy to say mission accomplished on that drive. The goal was to increase the lead. They did exactly that.
Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
Partner, that type of a lead, and they're going to fake it from the 15 to try and pick up a 2-point play instead of kicking it through the post. Come on, man. Put that in mothballs. Come on.
What?
Come on. Don't do that.
Put that in mothballs?
Yeah, preserve that for it. That's an ancient relic, faking it. I can understand you want to rub it in a little. You fake it when you snapped it from the 3. But from the 15, mothball that bad boy, just like my grandmother had.
Yeah,
in her attic, the stuff she used to preserve.
It smells terrible. And they're going to have really good starting field position here as that's taken up close to the 40. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now. And if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
Ready. 50, plant. Hey. Check 13. Check 13.
And they'll try the jet sweep here. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
This is one of those plays that has an equal chance of either being a big gain or a big loss. But with the college influence, we're seeing more of these plays come into the NFL.
On first down, it's Jacobs. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Tackled at the 25-yard line. 1-yard gain brings up 2nd and 9 at the Broncos' 25-yard line.
So this one will wind up a Denver victory, and maybe more importantly, a victory in the division, which always helps.
And on the road. How about all of that rolled up into one? Because how often do you see division games get decided by this much of a margin?
Yeah, they thumped them.
Yeah, they jumped all over them. And a division game is usually a touchdown or less because these two teams know each other better than most teams in the league. In this case, that didn't hold up. On the road, big margin, big victory. Oh, yeah, that flight home will be good.
So for Denver, they close out this first half at a very solid 6-2, and they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, they are barely afloat as they fall to 4-5. And they're going to get an extra week to stew over this as they're not back in action until week 11. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.